We have in research, and the researcher which has researched a lot in this field was Goleman. Daniel Goleman, and he has put some psychological sciences and different medicine all together, and there has been a competence model. There is a competence model, and this competence model we want to discuss, and then I will give you the answer. This is latest research, because there is a lot of discussion papers at the moment about this approach we want to discuss now. And there was a finding, for example, here. And we see that the curve is like this. The curve is like this. The curve is like this. That means the leader's effectiveness has, of course, something to do with your IQ background, educational background, your St. Andrews degrees, and all these. But there is another competence, or another bundle of competences, which brings you higher. Which brings you higher in leadership effectiveness and in leadership success. And therefore, the science in leadership discusses at the moment a model, and this model is the so-called emotional intelligence competence model. Emotional intelligence competence model. Here. What is the emotional intelligence? Can you read it? It's a little bit different. Can I wipe something out?
Over there, Harry, on the right-hand side.
Okay. I will wipe this out. So, here. Maybe we can remove this. So, okay. So, and the leadership. Okay. So, emotional intelligence competence model. IQ competence model. So, I will bring it up. So, what is the emotional intelligence competence model?
I have one question. How did he measure leadership efficiency?
We can measure it in questionnaires, in pools, samples, and we have questions. We can measure it. For example, the army has a lot of measurement in this, and the private companies, the researchers have developed questionnaires for measuring effectiveness in leadership. But at this point, we want to discuss characteristics. Characteristics which Goleman and others, and today Balumba and others, have found out that these characteristics have a lot of impact on successful leading companies. So, emotional intelligence competencies. What do you think could be? What makes? There are 25,000 studies in this at the moment. What makes up emotional intelligence competencies? Studies have identified at least 5 key factors. And these 5 key factors we want to discuss. What do you think could be a key factor of emotional intelligence?
Empathy.
Empathy. What is empathy? Empathy. And what are the skill indicators of empathy? What is empathy? The ability of what? What is empathy? What do you think? What do you think? Empathy.
Ability to recognize someone's emotions and act in accordance with them.
Okay, the ability to understand the emotional make-up, the ability to understand the emotional make-up of other people. So, what are the skill indicators? What do you think? For example, empathy belongs very strong together to high self-awareness. High self-awareness, empathy. High self-awareness. What is high self-awareness? High self-awareness. High self-awareness means having an accurate understanding of how you behave. First, see yourself. Explore yourself. How you behave, how other people perceive you, perceive your behavior. Recognizing, you have to recognize how you respond to others. So, what do you think are skill indicators? How can you train, or how can you see that you have an accurate understanding of others? What do you think? What are the one skill indicator? One skill indicator is, for example, knowing when you are thinking negatively. To know this, I will give you an example. You had a very bad telephone call half an hour before. Now you are going to a meeting with your peers, and you are angry about this telephone call, and you are angry about you, and you let it out on you. That's not professional. That is no high self-awareness. So, this is one skill indicator to know when you are thinking negatively, to know when you are angry, to know when you are in a so-called negative emotional attraction, NEA. If you are in a negative emotional attraction, the other way is the positive emotional attraction. This is the PEA. What skill indicator? Know when you are becoming angry. Think on yourself first. Think on yourself to develop your high self-awareness. Another component of emotional intelligence at work is, what do you think? What could be another component? Empathy, high self-awareness. What could be another one? Very important.
Resilience.
Fun?
Resilience. Resilience.
Resilience. Yes, but we want to have a big picture. It's a part. This is a part. Another one is self-regulation. What is self-regulation? Self-regulation. Self-regulation. And what are the skill indicators of self-regulation? Or you can say, managing your own emotions. Managing your emotions. Managing your emotions. What is the meaning of self-regulation? What do you think? Self-regulation is the ability to control or redirect disruptive impulses and disruptive moods. What are skill indicators? That's very important. What are skill indicators for managing your emotions? What do you think? Very important for modern leadership.
So let's say you have that really bad phone call just half an hour ago to go to that meeting, and then you're able to focus on that meeting to understand that your employees or your team members are not, it's not their fault that you had a bad morning, and you can regulate yourself, manage your own feelings, still stay focused and not let your anger out.
Yes, this is it's good. It belongs very strong to high self-awareness. But managing your emotions is a different situation. Managing your emotions means, for example, being able to relax in pressure situations, for example. It's something a little bit like angry and so on. But in pressure situations. Or be productively also when you are very, very angry and when you are very, very strong under pressure. Or another one is try to calm you down very quickly if you are angry. You can, and the good message, the very good message in this emotional intelligence leadership competence model or leadership behavior is one thing. The good message is this is not trend-oriented, it is not inborn, this is not stable. You can learn it. You can learn this, you can train this. We have other leadership approaches, like the trait approach from 1900. They say a leader is a leader which has inborn characteristics. You cannot change it. Nowadays, we say from medicine, neuroscience, biological aspects, behavioral aspects, that you can learn these success behaviors. I will say success behaviors. Now we have another one. We have another one. Motivation. Motivating yourself. What is motivating yourself? Motivating yourself is another factor. Motivating yourself. It is a passion. It is a passion to work for reasons that go beyond money and other status or titles or something. It's really intrinsic. Motivating yourself. What are the skill indicators? Skill indicators are totally important. Motivating yourself, be able to channel emotions to achieve a goal. Channel your emotions to achieve a goal. What are the skill indicators? One skill indicator is be able to regroup quickly, to regroup yourself quickly after a setback. Absolutely important. And complete long-term tasks with a designated time frame. Motivating yourself. We have another one. It is interpersonal expertise. Interpersonal expertise. interpersonal expertise. What is interpersonal expertise? Or you can also say social skills. Social skills. Interpersonal expertise means being able to exchange information on a meaningful level. Not only exchange of ideas or something, on a meaningful level, and mediate conflicts. You have everyday conflicts, maybe in your groups, in your teams. It's one of your tasks to mediate constructively, successfully these conflicts. And the consequence is negotiate solutions. What are the skill indicators? The skill indicators, interpersonal expertise, are work out conflicts. I have mentioned it before. Or being able to build consensus. Or mediate conflicts between others. All these are sub part of the factor interpersonal expertise. Now we are going to the last one. Absolutely also very important is the mentoring of others. Number 5 is mentoring of others. We have discussed it in one of the leadership roles, if you remember at the beginning of this lecture. And this means being aware of others' feelings and help them. That's very important, the consequence. Help them articulate their emotions in a productive way. So, what are the skill indicators? What are the skill indicators? Be able, for what? Or for example, stay calm in the presence of very, very stressful emotions, for example. So, this is a short outlook to emotional intelligence competencies. There's a lot to say more, and West Point says also a lot more to these competencies. Maybe we can talk this in another lecture and can deepen it, but I will bring you maybe some answers. Maybe some answers to our question. What are the challenges? And how can we respond with our leadership research tools for these challenges? I think leadership will be more and more uncomfortable in the future. More and more uncomfortable. Good leaders, in my sense, steps out of their comfort zones every day. They won't not wait and live in their glass tower and looking how the world is running. They have to go out of their comfort zones. Leaders of the future have to forge what? Leaders of the future, in my opinion, and the research results have shown it, leaders of the future forge new relationships with competitors and with employees. That's very important. It's a new situation. And one point is very clear. The ego, yourself, you're thinking only on yourself, the ego is way out. The ego is out of the game. That means, or what are, in this sense, the biggest adjustment for leaders of today? the biggest adjustment for leaders of today will be a power shift. It will be a power shift that is requiring major changes to how these leaders think and these leaders work. That means that leaders which are motivated only by power over others will not thrive, will not be successful in this globalized world. And what we see in the future, and our research shows it, if you are thinking on authentic leadership, there's a lot of research at the moment, or if you are thinking on leadership with the Blue Ocean strategy, or if you are thinking on invisible leadership, purpose-oriented leadership, there is one big message in leadership. We will see, and it's my answer, we will see more ultra-centric leaders. Leaders, they understand that leadership is a relationship and will therefore primarily focus on others rather than themselves. And ultra-centric leaders derive their power from motivation, from inspiring, not from controlling or controlling of others. Think on the emotional intelligence competencies. And what is the conclusion? The conclusion for modern leadership and future-oriented leadership: the ultra-centric leader, intrinsically motivated by socialized power, the ultra-centric leader who draws his strengths and satisfaction from teaching, for example, team building or empowering others, will be able to handle the increased pressure of tomorrow's business environment. Organizations need to develop leaders who are motivated by ultra-centric leadership behavior. And I will give you, last but not least, 3 personal recommendations. And these additional ideas are value-oriented leadership ideas, and I think values can only be effective if these values brought very personally. So I can say a cool head, a warm heart, and working hands. Put it together, and I think this will be the way for the future, for your future as great leaders and managers in the new generation, our globalized world. Thank you very much. Some questions?
Time for one question only, Harry.
Yes,
You won't be out of the room otherwise.
I know.
So just
One question. Who has a question? Or we can have the questions afterwards in the pub. Hold on. Was it?
I'd suggest the questions in the pub. So it would. So we're going to go to the Wave Pub. Before we say thank you to Harry, before we say that, I think Harry would join me in thanking and congratulating you guys. This is week 3 of your time at St Andrews, and some of the contributions that I was hearing were very confident, they were very engaged, and there's a lot of emotional intelligence coming out of the audience. So thank you, and Harry, thank you most of all for your time, expertise, and see you in the pub.